Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the surface of the earth, mountains, rivers, cities, every map and atlas you have ever seen. Now realize that the most mysterious, strangest, and most astonishing world of all lives inside you. It's not a fantasy landscape discovered by some lost explorer. It is a living, moving, humming ecosystem that has been with you since your first breath. This body, ordinary by sight, miraculous by design, hides secrets so strange they read like science fiction. Bones that faintly glow when exposed to certain light. Organs that rebuild themselves. Tiny lights, invisible to our eyes, pulsing from the skin. A second brain tucked away in the gut. Quietly, when we picture bones, we imagine white, solid structures. Dry, inert scaffolding that supports muscles and organs. That image is incomplete. Under certain conditions, human bones emit faint visible light, not in the neon, cartoonish sense, but as a soft, measurable glow known to scientists as biophotons or, in some contexts, phosphorescence triggered by ultraviolet light. The glow is not the sort of thing you'd notice without instruments or a carefully controlled dark room. Yet, it exists. Researchers studying bone composition found trace minerals and organic molecules. The idea that your stomach could digest itself might sound like a horror headline. Yet the lining of the stomach undergoes rapid, continuous renewal precisely to prevent that outcome. The acid in your stomach is powerful enough to dissolve metals under some conditions. Without a protective, regenerating lining, your digestive tract would quickly deteriorate. Cells in the stomach epithelium live short lives, sometimes just a few days, and are constantly replaced by stem cell-driven processes in the gastric glands. This renewal is efficient. The heart is often described poetically as the engine of life, but the metaphor understates the literal physics. The mechanical work performed by the heart, pumping blood through tens of thousands of miles of vessels over a lifetime, adds up. Estimates comparing the heart's daily energy output to mechanical work has suggested that, over the course of an average day, the heart's output could be equated to the energy required to move a small truck for some distance. The point is not to imply your heart is a combustion engine, but to emphasize scale, a continuously working hump, beating approximately 100,000 times a day and moving about 7,000 liters of blood, performs enormous cumulative work at the cellular level. Cardiomyocytes, heart muscle cells. Autophagy is a word that sounds like science fiction. Self-eating. In biology, autophagy describes the process by which cells digest their own damaged components to recycle molecules and maintain cellular health. In the brain, autophagy helps neurons clear misfolded proteins, broken organelles, and metabolic waste. It's essential for neuronal survival and for preventing buildup of toxic aggregates linked to diseases like Alzheimer's. The dramatic phrasing, "brain eats itself," captures attention. But the reality is nuanced. Autophagy is often protective. We think of our skin as the visible boundary that defines us, but it is also an actively renewing organ that sheds continuously. Estimates vary, but over a lifetime, an average person can shed many kilograms, tens of pounds of skin cells. Every minute, millions of skin cells flake away from the outermost layer, the stratum corneum, as new cells rise from beneath. This process keeps the skin barrier strong and removes damaged or infected cells. The idea of losing so much material might feel strangely macabre. Yet it is. One sentence can make this sound like an alchemist's claim. Your body contains trace amounts of precious metals. It is literally true. Elements like gold, silver, and platinum exist in measurable microscopic quantities in human tissues, absorbed from the environment, diet, and in some cases, medical treatments. The amount of gold in a human body is tiny, often measured in micrograms, but detectable with sensitive, analytical chemistry techniques. These metals do not form bars in your veins. They are dispersed as ions or bound to proteins and enzymes. Liver regeneration is one of the most astonishing examples of biological resilience. Remove a significant portion of the liver, and in many cases, the remaining tissue will grow back to near original size and function. This regenerative ability is central to why living donor liver transplants are possible. The process doesn't involve a magic reappearance of whole lobes. Instead, the remaining hepatocytes, liver cells, enter the cell cycle, proliferate, and restore mass and metabolic capacity. Signals from growth factors, nutrients, and the immune system orchestrate a complex sequence. Color perception is both physics and biology. The light spectrum is continuous, but your visual system samples it through 3 types of cone cells, each sensitive to different wavelength ranges. The combination and overlap of these responses allow humans to discriminate millions of subtly different hues. 10 million is a commonly cited approximate figure that captures the impressive but finite palette of human vision. This ability emerges from neural processing. The retina encodes signals, and the brain interprets patterns to create the subjective experience of color. Discrimination varies between individuals. Some people, scientists now commonly refer to the enteric nervous system, the dense network of neurons lining the digestive tract, has a second brain. It contains roughly 100 million neurons and can operate semi-autonomously, controlling digestion, hormone release, and local reflexes without direct input from the brain. It talks to the central nervous system through bidirectional pathways, influencing mood, appetite, and even memory-related processes. The gut produces neurotransmitters like serotonin in abundance. In fact, a large portion of the body's serotonin is found in the gut. This neural ecosystem, if glowing bones felt unbelievable, consider this. Under sensitive cameras, humans emit a faint visible light continuously. This biophoton emission is not flashy. It is millions of times weaker than what our eyes can detect. Nonetheless, with photon-coating cameras, researchers have observed that the human body emits patterns of light linked to metabolic processes, circadian rhythms, and oxidative stress. The intensity changes throughout the day and in response to physiological states. This weak glow arises from chemical reactions in cells that produce excited molecules. Are these facts dangerous? Mostly no. Most of these facts describe normal physiological processes. They can sound dangerous when taken out of context. For example, autophagy sounds like the brain eating itself. But in healthy conditions, autophagy is protective. Risk appears when regulatory systems fail. Infections, chronic inflammation, or genetic errors can turn protective processes into harmful ones. Understanding context is the key. Can I see or test these phenomena at home? A. Some are accessible indirectly. You can test aspects of the gut-brain connection by altering diet and tracking mood changes. The human body reads like a book of paradoxes. Fragile yet resilient, routine yet astonishing, quietly ordinary in public, and profoundly extraordinary under the microscope. Each fact we explore reveals a theme. Life is a constant negotiation between damage and repair, energy and waste, chemistry and meaning. That negotiation produces the everyday miracle. If this journey through your own biology left you stunned, you are not alone. The more we look, the stranger it gets, and the more there is to learn. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to The Curious Historian for more short documentary dives into the odd corners of history, science, and human life. Share this with someone who likes science that sounds like fiction, but is true. Until next time, stay curious and keep looking a little closer.